The Challenger 2 is the latest main battle tank produced by the pioneers of tank design. The British Army first introduced tanks to the battlefield in 1916 and have played an important role in their development ever since. The Challenger traces its heritage back to Britain's Chieftain tank. When the Chieftain entered service in 1966, it was the most heavily armored of all main battle tanks. With an emphasis on armored protection, the Chieftain's turret was carefully contoured to optimize the thick steel of its armor. The Chieftain balanced its superb protection with a powerful 120mm gun, much larger than the 105mm guns common to most tanks of the 1960s and 70s. But thick steel armor makes tanks heavy and slow, and the Chieftain was guilty on both counts. Britain needed a faster, more sophisticated tank. During the 1970s, under the codename Burlington, British designers developed a radical new type of tank armor. This complex composite armor became known as Chobham armor, named after the city in which it was developed. How it works and what exactly it's made from remain top secret, but it is highly effective. Most experts believe the armor consists of complex layers of metal and advanced ceramics. When the Challenger 1 appeared in the 1980s, it was the first British tank to incorporate this highly effective protection. Chobham armor made the Challenger nearly invulnerable to frontal attack from deadly high-explosive anti-tank or heat rounds. Besides its enhanced protection, the Challenger was more mobile than the Chieftain. A 1,200 horsepower diesel engine and advanced suspension system gave the tank a top speed of 35 miles per hour and a smooth ride despite obstructions and rough terrain. One of the most important advances in tank design in the 1980s was in gunfire controls, which permitted the tank to fire on the move. The heavily armored turret of the Challenger weighs 20 tons, yet it must be moved with extreme precision to hit targets a mile or more away. In 1994, the Challenger 2 entered service in the British Army. The Challenger 2 has over 150 improvements to its predecessor, the Challenger 1, and many entirely new features, such as its turret design.
Challenger 2 looked like its predecessor. Its hull and running gear were very similar. It was there that the comparisons ended. The turret was a radically different design that highlighted that there were 150 improvements on this tank. The Challenger 2 was slightly heavier, but faster. It had a new power plant with a 26-litre diesel engine. The gun was a deadlier version of the record-holding 120mm, and the armor that surrounded this fighting machine was an improved form of Chobham, codenamed Dorchester. The only real clue on the exterior that the new tank had only 4% commonality with its predecessor was the relocated TOGS sight, which gave both the gunner and commander a clearer view of the battlefield. The real improvement was in the new Hunter-Killer fire control system, a computer-aided procedure that allowed the commander to stay one step ahead of his gunner at all times. Using his roof-mounted sight, the commander selects his kill. The turret moves round and the gunner takes over the engagement, whilst the commander scans and selects his next victim. Once the gunner has destroyed the first tank, the turret automatically slews round to align the gun on the commander's prepared target, and the procedure starts again. With the Hunter-Killer system, the Challenger could unleash a barrage of lethally accurate fire that allowed it to destroy 8 enemy targets in just 40 seconds.